Oh, well, hello, all my wonderful, beautiful broskies of the wonderful, beautiful Maverick Nation. Oh, hell yes. We are finally continuing this damn series. And then I'm going to do a part of Superman and a part of Batman. And then I don't know what the actual literal freaking FUCK I'm going to do next. Because, well, what do you do after an onslaught of awesomeness like that? Well, I guess now we should at least start with the what if. What if Izuku was Scorpion Part 4, I believe? Yes, Part 4. Because last time we left off with a lot of the students figuring out that they actually had, special teachers that taught them besides, Aizawa and whoever else that was at UA. Teaching them in their own special arts. Basically, after Izuku, he basically placed decent in the whole quirk assessment test. And so now it's been a while, and basically, whenever all the classes are in the classroom, basically, Aizawa says something about combat training, and not like 2 seconds later, All Might comes up, but John's seeing it through the freaking door and all the way into the classroom, saying something about walking in like a normal person, and then just being like, he will be the instructor of, the freaking thing. Now, whenever I mentioned in the one video of this series that I already, paired her up with someone else in a ship, I think it's the Scarecrow what if where I paired Mina. And I also do indeed believe that Mina and Izuku in this would be awesome, so I'm still gonna go for Mina. Yes, it's something I also need to continue, the Scarecrow what if, but maybe later on. Have to get Superman and Batman out of the way, so, after this, so. Yes, Izuku and Mina will still be a standing thing here in this what if. However, in this what if, I'm going to have there be a little bit of a surprise for whenever we get later into the story. Oh my god. Oh boy. Anyways, well, let's just say, with Mina making her advances, there's gonna be a certain someone who is, like, really freaking jelly. And you know the jelly that I'm talking about whenever it comes to girls and, guys. And that certain person who has that, animosity, that jelly, would be Hyokujiro. Because, to be honest, why Ochako isn't really going after Izuku all that much? Well, first of all, he's the son of Scorpion. Second of all, well, Grandmaster Ermac, they're special, kind of special. And the third thing, she sees all that animosity and all that jelly just from two girls alone, and she's like, nah, it's not worth it. It's like, no, it's not worth it. Because she just sees the jelly from, like, freaking Mina and freaking Jiro alone, and she's like, she does not want to add more jelly to that jelly. And, Izuku's just like, ladies, calm the down. I mean, Jiro, how, literally, like, what is going on? Like, why? Why would you even, like, what is up? That's the door opening, if any of you can hear that. The garage door. Oh, oh God. Basically, Mina, who has her own little bit of jelly. And basically, it would be that. It would be Mina. And that'd be Jiro. Like, what's so special about Jiro who would have her be in contention for winning Izuku's heart? Well, certainly I don't think any of you would have expected this, but Jiro in this, well, I'm just gonna say that, well, she explains to Izuku why exactly, like, she should be put into this whole jelly roll of a thing. Basically, she explains that she is kind of, in a thing with, her Grandmaster, the Grandmaster Sector. Yes, that's right. Grandmaster Sector. Or at least that's what she thought. That's until the Special Forces basically pulled a freaking air raid, and now she's under their care. So, yeah, one of the people that, Cabal doesn't want Ida, like, letting, that whole thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch part 3. So, yeah, basically, that whole standing. So basically, she not only has special forces training, but at the time she was kind of under Sector's, very powerfulness. She had training from Sector 2, which means not only does she have fighting style of, you know, a combatant, basically underneath Lin Kuei teachings. So she's basically doubled up. She's like Special Forces and Lin Kuei. So yeah, she's basically very special, very talented. And last, the Special Forces were able to get her back to her normal parents before she was kind of abducted by Sector. So yeah, basically, Sector abducted her from her original parents. Then, did some, like, Lin Kuei style training, because Sector willed it. And then, special forces training while she was there, until they were able to find, her actual birth parents. And then she continued to do some, like, a mix of Lin Kuei and special forces. So she does indeed know, like, some good shit. And, well, Izuku finds this actually very fascinating. Like, basically, it would be like, Izuku would be thinking, Special Forces and Lin Kuei? Well, this would be very exciting for both Bakugo and that Todoroki kid. Yeah. Whatever they do, remember Sector, Bihan and Kuai Liang. It should be interesting. Could indeed be very interesting. But, that's just mostly like bits and pieces. As to Amina, actually, seeing as, like, her training wasn't really cut in half, she's actually able to do, like, several of the different, like, I believe the race was called, like, Sataran. She's able to do, like, several of their tricks. Like, several of their different combat moves. Pull off, like, several of their different specialties. Like, turning invisible, creating poison clouds, like, acid clouds as well. And, well, even able to do stuff with a tongue that kind of rivals, even to the point of rivaling what freaking Suyu can do with her freaking tongue. And she has a freaking frog quirk, which makes her tongue ridiculously long. But Mina can pull some tongue shit, and she can even, like, make her teeth extra sharp, so that if she did want to crunch on someone's head, she could crunch on someone's head. Or at least she's getting there. So basically, not just acid clouds, but poison clouds too. And there's the elongated tongue, and even turning invisible. Even better than she was able to do whenever she showed it off to Kirishima. Not really wanting to show it off, but, Kirishima was kind of pissing her off. Like, she really did not want it to be around.
I always interrupt while you're doing something. I'm sorry, but I'm going to get my hair cut. I'm back. Bring me some food.
Thanks.
Love you, guys.
Love you too. Basically, poison cloud, acid cloud, elongated tongue, the ability to change, like, the structure of her teeth, to, like, chomp down on people's, like, anything. Basically the teeth thing, the poison clouds, the acid clouds, the elongated tongue, invisibility improvement, like, basically her invisibility improved. And, well, anything else that would be, like, reptile-like. Like the character, not the actual animal. I guess she can stick to things. Good for stealth. And, well, basically her speed and agility and mobility, like, everything, like, to do with, like, stealth and, like mobility, agility, just random speed. all improved, like basically overall a good stealth fighter. And so yeah, basically I guess how you would describe a sweeper. That's like Pokemon terms. So I'm not even sure that's how you describe a sweeper. Uh, Basically, she's like Reptile, and she is slowly improving to, be a good representative of the Sateran race and their powers. She's even gaining more of the moving stance, like snakes dancing within the wind and rain. Like a very, very mobile stance. Very ready to, you know, pounce on somebody. Just out of nowhere, just pounce on them and take them out. However she wanted to. And there goes the garage door. And there goes it again. So, yeah. There's all of that. Is there anything else I need to say? Basically, All Might's, walked through and, I'm walking through the door like a normal person, and, I guess Mina, having proven her, improved her Sateran abilities as someone who, you know, kind of, basically trains under Reptile, even calling him Grandmaster Reptile. Even to the point of that. And Reptile, just seeing how much she's improved, he's actually very happy. Very happy with the improvements. Just how far she's come. And, well, I guess that's just that. Mina and Jiro both going after Izuku. However, there will be one more, but that's later on that I'm going to reveal. Basically, the pairings are like they are usually, and by that I mean, for Izuku, he is indeed paired up with a female, and for Bakugo, he is indeed paired up with Ida. Notice I said Izuku is paired up with a female. That's the one difference. The female he is paired up with is not the female he is paired up with in canon. Basically, the lot was pulled, and Mina was the one that he was paired up with. Izuku's like, "Oh, Mina, we're working together. Well, we should probably devise a plan. I know that Kachan's probably gonna go after me, so why don't you use what you learned from your Grandmaster to kind of help deal with Ida. I mean, I know that he's kind of got this relation with the you-know-what, but shouldn't be too hard, right? And Mina would just be like, oh my god, if he really doesn't need to have relations with that guy, then he probably has hook swords. Mina, get some confidence in there. Come on, have faith in yourself. You can do this. And Ida would just be like, huh. And Mina just getting up there would be like, huh? And it would just be like, this is where it gets personal. Now, you deal with me. And basically, he would just throw the hook swords straight at Mina, and Mina would be like, shit, gotta dodge. And she would just jump straight on the ceiling just to avoid them both. And they would stick into the freaking wall. And he would use his super speed to get them back. And be like, that was close. Fighting you is a very interesting prospect. Now, we deal with things the way the Black Dragon. We deal with it the way of my master. And Mina would just be like, shit. And be like, well, ha. And just like, tongue grabbed one of the hook swords. And she would just be like, bleh. And be like, how? And Ida would be like, ah, 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 ah. You use my greatest strength against me. My own weapons. And Mina would just be like, yeah, you could have let go. But then again, I probably would have just used my tongue to throw it at you like a spinning blade and chop your head off. So I guess it's a good thing you didn't let go. But now you only have one arm to fight with. And he would just be like, he would just have it like this. Now. And just basically like shoot both of them and Mina would just be like, I sure hope you have spares. What I'm about to do, and which would be like acid ball. And be like, and would be like she even shot her own mouth blast into the acid ball to freaking make it explosive and just blast like a freaking nuclear bomb and like cover the entire room in smoke. And that's whenever she'd just be like, I got you. Now you sleep. And would just knock out Ida and be like, touch. Basically. But everything that was going on while Mina was having her little fight with Ida, basically Bakugo charging at Izuku, and he'd be like, "So, this is the best you've got! Taste this!" Like, sounded like Linkway projectile type explosion. And, Izuku would be like, "Is that the best you've got? Ah! Taste the fires of hell." And he would just disappear, and then reappear like a few feet in front of him and be like, "Get over here!" And be like, kick, and just kick Bakugo in the face, sending him flying into a wall, and then just, like, Hellfire teleportation, and be like, now, this is where it ends. And he would just suplex Bakugo onto the ground, and, just triple kick him right into the stomach whenever he did the flip. Like, he would do a flip and then triple kick him in the stomach. And right exactly as he, got off of him, he would hear, "The heroes have won!" And be like, "Oh, she already beat Glasses." Like, he would just give him the nickname Glasses. He would just be like, "Oh, okay." And then he would just see, basically, he would just see, at the very bottom of the stairs, Mina. And be like, "Wait, what the? How did you... Oh, yeah, that's right, invisibility. How fast were you moving to get down here so quick?" And Mina would just be like, "Well, actually, I kinda morphed my acid into a little trick I call the acid slide. Well, more or less, a very tricky version of the original technique of my Grandmaster Reptile." And Izuku would just be like, "Acid slide, eh? Neat. You might happen to have looked at that Todoroki kid for 1 second. See him do something similar, and, picked it up from him." And, Mina would just be like, "Oh, just, never mind." And, as that would go by, basically, yes, indeed, it was all in great fun. But that's whenever, it would be maybe 2 or 3 months, Okay, I'll guess I'll only say like 2.5. And, straight in the middle of the month, basically, as I would say something like, "We're going on a little field trip to this place called the USJ." And basically just be like, and everybody would load onto the bus. But this time, Jira would deliberately, use some of that special forces training to boost her, endurance, how much she can endure that extra speed that her Lin Kuei training gives her. Because, Lin Kuei training kinda messes, her up if she goes too deep, balls deep into it. And so, she would activate the special forces training as well to basically endure anything. And, just blitz past Mina, who's trying to sit, next to Izuku. And she would sit next to Izuku and be like, "Hey, Izuku." And Izuku would be like, "What's up?" And so, yeah. Mina would have to be forced to sit next to someone else, or just sit in the back of the bus. Which Mina doesn't really feel like sitting next to anyone else. She feels more like just being at the back of the bus, not really caring. Because it was like either the back of the bus or next to Izuku, because, she didn't really feel like she was too interested in anything else. And so, that's how that would go on. Izuku not really interested in anything Jiro had to say. And so, it'll basically go on like a stalemate. That is until they finally got to the USJ, where, Mina would get woken up by, you know, basically the stopping of the bus kind of bumping Mina's head and just be like, ow. And, well, Mina would be like, watch it next time, ow. And, well, everything would go as in canon as usual. If you're wanting me to, tell, you guys about how everybody's, whole, hero costumes are, because I do indeed believe that they had their hero costumes on whenever they were in the USJ. So, Zuko just wears, he wants to, indeed, impress his dad, so, basically, requested the hero costume to be a certain way. Wow, this was sending some red flags for Inko. She decided ultimately, okay, if it's, Izuku wants it to be, then fine. It would basically be like, that. Anyway, well, with Shoto, he thought, since he had enough respect for Sub-Zero for Kuai Liang, he would indeed don the colors. So yeah, basically we have Izuku and, Shoto looking like Scorpion and Sub-Zero. And as for Bakugo, the same thing. He dons the colors of Noob Saibot. It was kind of a little bit more of a hassle considering Mitsuki's feelings towards Noob Saibot, but Bakugo eventually got it to happen. And about everyone else, I think, it's self-explanatory. Even though, Ochako's favorite hero is still 13. Number 13. And no, that is not a reference to Team 4 Star. Damn trucker hat. Never mind. So, yeah. Basically, that's going through. And now, basically, what we have, besides, Ochako and Ida, Ochako's Grandmaster being Ermac, and the person who Ida trained under, being Cabal, so you could guess what their suits would kind of look like. Like the recent MK games Cabal. Maybe mixed with a little bit of MK, Deceptions Cabal. Just for, the glitz and glamour of the whole thing. Kind of like recent Cabal and Mortal Kombat Deception Cabal. Kind of a mix in between the two. Is kind of what Ida's suit would look like. And, well, Kaminari and Momo. Momo would actually, yes, she would indeed look like a friggin' katana. She would look like katana, but like the old games katana, like the arcade games katana, like the blue katana, the blue one. You know, where like the old games where katana was wearing blue and Melina was wearing pink-ish purple. That katana, like she would kind of be sporting a look of that katana. And well, as for Kaminari, basically, I don't really know much about the whole thing. I guess, like, the old games version of Rain mixed with, like, Armageddon's Rain, with, like, certain features removed, which I really wouldn't know what certain features would be. You know, like, Kaminari would, be, like, stuck in between that. And as for Tokiyami, he would freely be sporting the colors of classic smoke. Uh, Without the, like, overhead, because you'd be, I guess you could say you'd just be sporting the colors of classic MK smoke. Like the original smoke. And so, yeah. That is how basically everyone would be sporting. So, yeah. So, with that all cleared up, the USJ attack would indeed begin. And, most, if not everything, would be, as in canon, except for Izuku having frickin' firepower, you know, like two different kinds, and also having a frickin', you know, kunai that's like rope kunai, basically a rope kunai, that he can just send out whenever he wants. And he can also frickin' teleport. So, yeah, that would be a big change. Very big change. And so, about that, Shigaraki, whenever he finally got pissed enough, would indeed try to go for Izuku. Which bad move, because, well, let's just say more than fair share of people were watching, and you might have pissed someone off, Shigaraki. Like creating an abomination like the Nomu. You're not going to have to worry about All Might. I guess you could say a god of thunder is about to step into the ring. Tomura Shigaraki, you violate the rules of Mortal Kombat yet again. must I enact my wrath upon you. By the power of the Elder Gods, you will halt your assaults. For my name is Raiden. Do I make myself clear? Or shall I have to make a demonstration? Shigaraki. Now, it's safe to say that Shigaraki is visibly terrified, because the only other time that he's ever saw this dude was whenever he came into their hideout, literally out of a puff of thunder and lightning, and just decided to mollywop everyone there. Even, given all for one a death stare like no other. Right before leaving, and another puff of lightning and frickin' thunder and everything. And so Shigaraki is just like, ah, shit. This is bad. Gary. What do we do? Raiden just decides to What the frick? Raiden just decides to simply flick his, little wrist, and now the Nomu is pretty much reduced to ash. Yeah, basically. Don't F with Raiden. At least this version of Raiden. Because he is going to be OP AF. So yeah, Raiden is just like with his arms crossed, like, what are they gonna do next? So I can know how badly I need to punish them. And Raiden would just be like Shigaraki would just be like, we're sorry, Master Raiden. And, basically you just see this big puff of green soul energy. And whenever you see the big puff of green smoke and it, like soul energy, and you just hear the laugh. Elder God, you have no place here. And then you would just hear another voice. Elder God, Raiden, we meet again, it seems. And Raiden would just be like, Shang Tsung and Shao Kahn. What a pleasure to meet you. I assume this is because you have an argument to make. Shang Tsung would just be like, the dude called Shang Tsung would just be like, yes, they weren't technically violating the rules of Mortal Kombat, seeing as they come from this realm. Allied with us or not, seeing as they are a part of this realm and the tournament hasn't even started yet, you can't exactly say that they have violated the rules of the tournament. And Shao Kahn is like, do you really wish to argue with us after all that has happened? And Raiden would just be like, you do indeed have a point. However, this cannot go unpunished. And Shao Kahn would just be like, fool, Raiden. You've already punished them enough. Besides, I can sense that Shigaraki and Kurogiri won't exactly be taking the rest of these fools with them whenever Kurogiri inevitably warp gates out of there himself. Whenever he says him, like, he means Shigaraki. And, Shang Tsung would then again follow up with, and that's why we aren't going to let you mess with our part of the tournament. Seeing as, then again, must indeed state, it hasn't even begun. Raiden would just be like, curse you, Shang Tsung. Curse you, Shao Kahn. Whenever the tournament has begun, your heads. He would just show off some lightning power. And, Shao Kahn would be like, impressive. You can show off a few little peppers, a few little fireworks. However, I have claimed souls upon souls. What you have is nothing compared to what I have. And Shang Tsung would just be like, I think we should indeed be going. Right about now. And, Shigaraki and Kurogiri would be like, yeah, that. And, Shang Tsung would increase the teleportation, like, the warping, like, 10 freaking 20-fold. And just juice Shigaraki and Kurogiri back, all the way back to their hideout. Basically being like, Shigaraki would be like, what the? It's a Shang Tsung guy again. Keep on telling him to stop interfering. You warped the warp gate for the League of Villains, so there's no need to try to help us with getting out of there. And Kurogiri's like, oh really? If it wasn't for Shao Kahn, I think Raiden would have already met us here. And, like, Shigaraki would just be like, found. Like, fine. You are indeed right. Shao Kahn would have been, like, the Raiden would have indeed followed us all the way here if it wasn't for Shao Kahn. And, seeing as Shang Tsung is Shao Kahn's little pet, his little freaking poodle follows him everywhere, I guess can't be helped. But he doesn't have to look so smug whenever he does it. And I hate his little laugh. One of these days, Shang Tsung. One of these days, sorcerer. And, Kiryu would just be like, I do indeed understand your frustrations with the sorcerer. But he is indeed under protection, the protection of Shao Kahn. Should we try and get in the sorcerer's way, Shao Kahn would bring his full wrath the wrath of his outworld armies. Well, a little bit of wrath of his outworld armies that he still has down upon us. And I don't exactly think that the master would like that. And Chigaraki's like, oh yeah, that's right. All for one would not like that. Everyone would not like Shao Kahn like coming to kill his ass. Like, he would not like that. Basically, it would just be like a whole thing with Raiden having to be stopped by not just like friggin' Shang Tsung, but Shao Kahn as well. And then, the entire thing, like, the media would be all over it, because, like, there would have been, like, freaking, like, just from, like, people appearing out of nowhere, like, freaking popcorn popping. Raiden, Shang Tsung, Shao Kahn. Like, Jesus Christ. Good thing they didn't freaking bring Goro, or else, Nomu might actually have, like, to fight something that's close to its size. Prince Goro. Basically, whenever All Might got there, he would want answers. He would have questions, and when he would want the answers to those questions, like right then. And then they would reveal that they did bring Goro. And Goro was like, he would just be like, I'd be glad to take this overgrown idiot clown of a hero for you any day, Master Shanks. Goro is still the underling of Shang Tsung. And Shang Tsung would just be like, Goro, hold your tendencies. For now. If this All Might wishes to participate within the Mortal Kombat tournament, then he may. Because as of now, he would just pop some green fire into All Might's hand, and it would be revealed to All Might to be an invitation. Because as of now, he is invited. Shang Tsung would just pull that shit. Being the sorcerer that he is, you just be able to pull that shit. And, well, yes, Goro there, just being there, would be freaking super imposing and intimidating. But everybody would then be able to see that Goro only really takes orders from Shang Tsung, and Shang Tsung only really takes orders from Shao Kahn. So there is clearly a pecking order established here. Like, who's stronger than who? And what necessarily areas of strength. Basically, Shang Tsung would be able to tell who's like the student of who, and even who's like the offspring of who, because he'd be able to tell right just from looking at Izuku that he was the son of Scorpion and some human woman. And well, just the mere fact of, this guy, the son of Scorpion, holy, and he's even wearing those famous colors of the Shirai Ryu. Oh, so it is indeed true. The son of Scorpion is indeed here. And Shang Tsung would just go straight up to Izuku and be like, you're the son of Scorpion. I'm going to have much fun with you. And then Aizawa would just get like, straight in between the two of them and try to pull some shit. And Shang Tsung would just smack him out of the way and be like, I wasn't done, you imbecile. I wasn't done with the child. And that's whenever he would see that Izuku kind of isn't a child anymore after what he just did to his teacher. Yeah, the gloves kind of came off whenever that happened for Izuku. The gloves kind of came off. And now he's in his big boy pants. Ready to massacre a freaking sorcerer. And, you know, because he knows that Aizawa was already taking a beating from the Nomu. And so, just seeing how badly damaged Aizawa got from that slap from Shang Tsung, Izuku would actually think that Aizawa was dead, and so he would be super pissed. And, you know, finally, Izuku would be like, and Shang Tsung would actually be taken aback by this and be like, wait, what? What? How? This early? No! That's impossible! You can't! And then Izuku's like, it is possible, and I am, right now, about to smoke a bit. Basically be like, as soon as this fire was about to freaking smolderize Shang Tsung to a crisp, the Warhammer would just be brought into the flames and smack them back straight into Izuku, and he would just fall back and automatically but as soon as this happened, you know, the Shao Kahn would feel a kunai straight into his back, as the rest of them was kind of frozen over, hearing some freezing sounds. And he would look to his side, and he would see Sub-Zero freezing the shit out of him. And he would look to his other side, and he would see Scorpion. And the last thing he would hear is, get the hell over here! And basically, just bring him in, and then just freaking pile drive hold, and throw him around, smash him into one of the danger zones, and be like, and just burn Shao Kahn to a crisp. But you know, Shao Kahn has that soul power, so just a bunch of green would just be gathering everywhere. You know, and be like, you suck. And then just charge straight into Scorpion, smacking him against the wall, and then just do the same thing to Sub-Zero. Or at least he would have thought, but it would have been an ice clone, but he would have charged straight through the ice clone, so it really wouldn't have mattered. So, basically, right as Sub-Zero's about to, you know, use his Kori Blade to, freaking buzzsaw into freaking Shao Kahn, Shao Kahn would just Warhammer, BAM! And Sub-Zero would just get knocked, and just hit the top of his head, ow! Just bounce off the top of his head. And then straight on his spine. So, with two quick movements, Shao Kahn basically just took out Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Yeah, Shao Kahn is pissed. But he's also, really freaking happy. Because, you know, he just taught these two, freaking, whatever the frick they're supposed to be. He just taught him a lesson. A lesson in pain. At least that's what he thinks. That is until one last source ends up coming up. A little bitty buddy. Because, you know, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, whenever they're not doing the usual, there helping someone out by killing some demons with him, alongside him. And if you know Spawn's ending, like MK11, I think he was like MK11. If you know about Spawn's ending from MK11, you know that Sub-Zero and Scorpion joined up with him to like kill some demons. And so, guess who's about to make his entrance? You know, like freaking Shang Tsung and Goro are seeing this, and they're like, "What?" like they're just like, "No, no, 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 Shao Kahn, I have eyes. We get the hell out of here." And Goro's just like, "I do indeed agree with Master." Yeah, it's kind of too late for that, because Shao Kahn is about to get his own type of beating. Whenever Spawn is just like, "I hate clowns. But you know what I hate even more than clowns? I hate types like you. I hate you so much that I'm willing to make a little bit of a truce." Hasashi. And Scorpion would be like, "Spawn." And Spawn would just be like, uh, "Mind if I take your kid for a little bit of a spin after this?" And, you know, Scorpion knows what Spawn's talking about, and he's like, "Gladly. Me and Sub-Zero working together can take care of Shao Kahn. Then they'll have something special to be done to get the child ready." And, you know, basically, Spawn would be like, you know, just Spawn, you know, just be like, "Well then, I guess it's time to get rid of some scum." And right before that can happen, well, let's just say, fate was smiling on, you know, the behalfs of Goro, Shang Tsung, and Shao Kahn, because just some sort of pinkish, blackish, like, warp thing, like, consumes them all, and they're basically spit out, and whenever they all get up, they realize they're in a bar. Oh wait, pinkish, blackish, warp cloud thing. Oh, this bar is the hideout for the League of Villains. And so basically, Shigaraki's like, "You can do whatever. Just letting you know, we were the ones who helped you this time." And Shao Kahn's like, "I want to meet with your leader before we leave." And, you know, Shao Kahn would indeed have a talk with All For One, you know, establishing that apparently this RoboCop individual that they had indeed heard about, didn't think much of, he wasn't the only newcomer that was coming up to bat. No, there's also apparently someone, I believe Al Simmons was Spawn's name. Basically, apparently there's this guy called Spawn who's, you know, come about, and, you know, really does not seem to like them. Even offered to train the son of Scorpion. So yeah, that's not a very good thing. So, and the fact that the dude seems to know Sub-Zero and Scorpion, yeah, really bad. Especially if they want to win this tournament. you know, this one. And so, things will get really, really shaky. Because now will be the time in which a temporary alliance would be made between the League of Villains and the forces of Outworld that do not bend to, as Shao Kahn says, Katana's velvet glove. Or, as he would say, my daughter's velvet glove. So yeah, basically, that's everything. I basically just covered 2 different arcs in one freaking part. So, yeah. Wow. Anyways, Alan's the analysis because the Dark Shadow Maverick is OUT out of here, you boys. Like, favorite, subscribe, something in the freaking, comment section. Bye-bye.